Hello, I'm Jennifer Johnson. This presentation is for the doctoral program at Aspen University, Cognitive and Affective Principles of Psychology, Dr. Helen Livingston Professor, Mod 7 assignment. In this presentation, we'll review the problem-solving cycle. We'll take a look at what the obstacles and resources to assist in the process. We'll review what critical thinking across a lifespan looks like, and we'll explore what the research on creative and critical thinking in the workplace tells us. Problem solving is defined as a mental or cognitive or intellectual process that encompasses not just solutions and resolutions, but discovery and analyzation. It is truly a process. The goal? To find a viable solution, overcoming challenges and obstacles. The process begins with defining the problem, and it's clearly defining the problem. Sometimes in our zeal to resolve or fix an issue, we may solve the wrong problem. So defining the problem as clearly as possible is essential. That's followed by brainstorming, a free-flowing process of sharing ideas, thinking, options, minimizing any kind of rejection of someone's thinking. Important for the process to be open-ended and free-flowing and flexible. Once we've completed that process, we pick a solution, we implement the solution, and then we review the results. The goal is to see, did the options that we chose meet the outcomes as originally identified? A quick review. Problem-solving cycle, clearly identify the problem. Brainstorm possibilities. Choose the most viable solution. Implement it, and then review the results to see if in fact there's reliability and validity in the choice that was made. Are there obstacles and challenges to the process? For sure. We'll begin with sometimes recognizing there's irrelevant data that's not collected or related to the problem. If it's not connected or related, it needs to be removed from the table. It can become an obstacle to resolution. Functional fixedness. We have an inability sometimes to see new ways using old methods because we're fixated on this is how we did it, this is what the result was, and we seem to not be able to move forward. The other obstacle, sometimes we have assumptions. We have a hypothesis, a belief, a supposition that may preclude us from seeing a new path or a new way of bringing resolution to a problem that may not be new at all. Are there aids and resources to assist? You bet there are. We begin with taking a look at physical representation, sometimes using a mathematical formula. A plus B equals, what does C look like? That physical representation may aid and encourage creative thinking. Or brainstorming. Trial and error. That process may open up the floodgates to thinking. Reviewing prior successes. Sometimes putting a small team together and letting that team come up with recommendations, suggestions, ideas, options, alternatives. Imagining a before and after can be an aid or a resource in the problem-solving cycle. What does a lifespan of critical thinking look like? What does it entail? What does it encompass? Various stages of development occur. We grow, we develop, we adjust. This is essential to understanding, learning, maturing, and adapting. Important to understand it is an evolutionary process. Critical thinking just doesn't arrive by itself. There are stages of development. The American Psychological Association identifies these steps in the critical thinking process. We learn, we mature, we adapt, and this process begins from infancy through adulthood, and then from adulthood to senior citizen status. Important to understand there is a lifespan to critical thinking. When we look at the lifespan, understand that this is directed and focused thinking. It's a process. It's designed to resolve a problem. It's engineered to be an exploration of ideas, possibilities, alternatives, and options. It's minimizing and overcoming challenges and obstacles, and is reviewing, verifying, validating the findings. Lifespan of critical thinking impacts our cognitive, our intellectual capacity, our personality, even our mental and physical acumen, as well as our social, perceptual, and emotional capacity. Important to understand, critical thinking has a lifespan that evolves. What innovation is a part of the process? When we consider research relating to or involving the usage of original ideas and imagination to create something, it's innovation. It's new. It's something novel. It's a fresh perspective. It's what may be of value and benefit to others. Creative thinking is not dependent on past practices or solutions. It requires some expertise, some experience, a desire, a passion, a skill set. Perseverance, motivation, and resilience are important in the creative thinking process. What does the research say about this process? If we look at the research, it moves us to innovation, novelty, and impact. And it begins with teaching, creative thinking, and brainstorming. I discussed that brainstorming can be a challenge because we're so used to being critical thinkers that creative thinking can sometimes be stymied by our resistance to allow a free flow of ideas. We develop and pursue blue sky ideas. Nothing holds us back. Everything is a possibility. We promote cross-disciplinary collaboration, and we're working to create a culture that rewards innovation. One of the greatest examples in the history of industry is the 3M company. 3M was searching to find a solution for a glue. Multiple errors, and what we have today are Post-it notes. That glue didn't work for the original process that was designed, but instead a brand new product evolved. 3M rewards innovation. 3M rewards the possibility of errors that may in fact lead to new ideas, new processes, new thinking. Bloom's taxonomy says it well. Bloom's taxonomy says we need to think about our thinking, and it begins with remembering. The simplest form of thinking, memorization. It moves us to understand, to apply, to analyze, to evaluate, and finally, the creative thinking process to put elements together in new ways, symbolizing and synthesizing diverse ideas, insights, and generating innovative solutions. Bloom's taxonomy is used to help promote and encourage and to foster creative thinking processes. There's much research on creative thinking, research involving possible solutions, processes, the metacognitive recognition and components that go on in critical thinking and creative thinking, and the correlation between critical and thinking and understanding our learning processes, important in the process. References to support this presentation are available. Thank you for your attention. I'll entertain any questions. And this brings our presentation to a close.